Movie-based video games have been a prominent genre in the gaming industry for several decades, but have mostly failed to survive this past generation. These games, inspired by popular films, sought to capitalize on the success of their cinematic counterparts by offering players a chance to immerse themselves in familiar movie universes. However, the history of movie-based video games is plagued with disappointments, underwhelming experiences, and lack of innovation. At the outset, movie-based video games appeared to hold great promise. They allowed gamers to take on the roles of their favorite movie characters, traverse iconic film locations, and engage in action sequences akin to those seen on the silver screen. This potential attracted developers and publishers eager to cash in on the established fan bases of popular movies, resulting in countless movie-based game releases. Probably the most notable early example of a movie tie-in game is the infamous E.T. for the Atari 2600, which is now looked back upon as the final straw that led to the collapse of the video game industry in the early 80s. This is the perfect example of a rushed game that was overhyped and led to massive backlash, a cycle we are all too familiar with today in the modern age. Not all movie games were trash though. Some achieved moderate success. Notable examples include the legendary GoldenEye 007 and Spider-Man 2, both of which received critical acclaim and enjoyed commercial success. These games proved that movie-based video games could be more than mere cash grabs, but rather entertaining experiences in their own right. As the popularity of movie-based games grew, so did the number of tie-in games. These tie-ins were often rushed to release alongside their film counterparts, leading to lackluster gameplay, shoddy graphics, and inadequate storytelling. Gamers soon grew skeptical of such titles as they became synonymous with subpar gaming experiences. One of the major issues plaguing movie-based video games was the tight production schedule imposed by the movie release deadlines. With the need to synchronize the game's release with the film, developers had limited time to create a polished and fully realized gaming experience. As a result, corners were often cut, leading to a buggy and unfinished game that failed to live up to expectations. Another challenge was the limitation of adhering to the movie's narrative. Gamers craved original and engaging stories, but most movie-based games were confined to follow the plot of the film very closely. This linearity often restricted the creative freedom of developers, making it difficult to introduce new gameplay elements or explore alternative storylines. On this note, adapting a movie script into a game doesn't always work out very cleanly. In the majority of these games, cutscenes do most of the heavy lifting, and there isn't much room for storytelling through gameplay itself. Movie-based video games often suffer from technical hurdles, particularly in terms of graphics and visual fidelity. To accommodate console limitations and rushed development cycles, developers had to compromise on graphical quality, resulting in visually unimpressive games that failed to leverage the hardware capabilities fully. The advent of digital distribution platforms and streaming services also played a role in the death of movie-based video games. As gamers gained access to an ever-expanding library of diverse games, they became less inclined to spend their money on uninspired and mediocre movie tie-ins. Digital platforms provided a more accessible way for players to explore exciting gaming experiences without being constrained by movie releases. The days of clueless parents picking out a video game in a store for their kid's birthday based on brand names they themselves recognize have now been replaced with points cards or a Game Pass subscription. The accumulation of critical and commercial failures further fueled the decline of movie-based video games. Negative reviews and poor sales discouraged developers from investing in movie tie-ins, as they risked further tarnishing their reputation and squandering valuable resources on unprofitable projects. With the movie-based video game genre losing its appeal, the entertainment industry started to explore other avenues for transmedia storytelling. Instead of standalone movie-based games, franchises began integrating their stories into expansive universes across various media platforms, including novels, comics, and television shows. This transition allowed for more in-depth world building and narrative exploration. An example of this in action is the Five Nights at Freddy's game, which has since expanded far beyond the video game industry into movies, books, and more. The death of movie-based video games was a result of several interconnected factors, including time constraints, creative limitations, technical hurdles, and a shift in gaming preferences. As the gaming industry evolved, gamers sought more innovative and immersive experiences, leading to a decline in interest for movie tie-ins. While some early successes provided a glimpse of the genre's potential, the challenges and pitfalls proved too great to overcome. As always, I'd love to hear what you think in the comments down below. Do you miss movie-based games, or are you happy that they're mostly gone? What was your favorite movie-based game growing up? If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. It would mean a lot to me. My goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers, and when I do, I'm going to do a game room tour you won't want to miss. Until next time, thanks for watching.